I am no dating guru, but if you are in a single season or a season of solitude, I definitely wanted to bring you this video because one, dating is hard. And singleness can seem very heavy, especially if it is not a season you plan for. And I don't think being single is what the hard part is necessarily, or what's hard for most people. I think it's being alone without support or not having a sense of purpose or having any type of way to ground yourself is what's challenging. And so that's really the difference between isolation and solitude. And my name is Tiffany, and in this video, I want to walk us through talking about what is solitude versus isolation, especially in singleness, because they are not the same thing. And confusing them can definitely wear you down. And so, singleness, for one, can definitely become a place where either isolation or solitude can make all of the difference. And for me, solitude changed everything for me. And so this wasn't something that I stumbled upon. This is definitely something that I chose. And I have been in a single season for several years, and I've experienced isolation and I have experienced solitude. And you do have a choice in where you choose to be. And as of late, I have been in a season of solitude. And though it was not easy, and surely at first it was very uncomfortable, it has ended up being some of the most formative and transformational seasons of my life. And so I just want to talk about some of my own experiences and how, and hopefully encourage you that if you are facing a season of singleness right now, or if you are in a place of solitude right now, even if you're in a place of isolation, hopefully you can move to a place of solitude and find a lot of comfort in where you are today. And so, solitude gave me a space to draw closer to God. And I was able to develop such a deep prayer life with Him, you know, especially if you have been in a lukewarm space before, you know, all about the 911 prayers, treating God like He's the genie in a bottle. And so you're praying to Him about all of your wants and your desires, but you don't really have a significant prayer life with Him. But in solitude, I was able to develop real conversations with Him. And I remember vividly asking Him for certain things and to develop certain characteristics within me. And He established these things pretty quickly. And I just praise God for it because that really set the foundation for and the trajectory for just so many other things, because God is going to do a heart work first before anything else changes around you. And so I praise God for the heart work that He did in me. And so some of the things that God developed in me in solitude were self love, integrity, dignity, self respect, reliability, and not just being able to rely on myself, but being reliable. Other people could rely on me. and also forgiveness and self-worth and self-awareness and so much more. He did an incredible heart work on me, and it was just transformational. I always knew a part of me could be that type of person, but when you're lost for so long and you start to believe the lies of this world, the lies that the enemy tells you, you believe that it's an impossibility to ever experience really truly feeling that way about yourself. And so God just renewed my mind. He renewed my heart. He removed a heart of stone, even towards myself, and gave me a heart of flesh to just to understand what grace truly meant and means, and to give myself grace in the light where He sees me, and to just allow Him to do such a mighty work. And so I praise God for that. Another thing that I developed in solitude was learning how to be alone without experiencing loneliness. And so I was one of those people who absolutely struggled, hated to be alone. I needed to be around lots of people, either friends, yeah, a romantic partner, somebody. I could not stand to be alone. And the silence for me felt so uncomfortable. Stillness, I could, it was so confronting because I knew if I sat still long enough, all of those deep, dark thoughts would come creeping to the surface. And I couldn't handle having to sit with that. But in solitude, it taught me how to sit with myself and to not escape, not to try to run and escape what I was feeling. It taught me how to face loneliness. It taught me how to face rejection and to not numb it and to not try to distract myself from it, but actually face it. And when I started to face it, I also got a chance to spend a lot of time reflecting on my innermost thoughts, and I became very aware of who I actually was, not who I was performing, not who I was pretending to be to the public. I got to take off the mask finally and to experience an unmasking like that is there's nothing like it. There's nothing like experiencing being in your fullness. And with that unmasking, a lot of clarity came from that. And that clarity led me to sobriety. And with sobriety, I no longer needed to numb. I no longer needed to escape. Being present wasn't scary anymore. It wasn't boring. I had a boredom problem. Could you imagine? Because if I wasn't escaping, there was no adventure. Life wasn't adventurous enough for me sober. But when you become sober, you realize that, I realized that you know, there isn't anything mundane about routine. And I started to appreciate the day to day and that you can find adventure in day to day life. And you might have to plan activities and hobbies, and that's how you can bring interest into your day. But also, you can just allow life to unfold the way that it wants to. And that in itself is an adventure. And that's the beauty of life. And so there's no need to escape from it. There's no need to cope with any other substance that takes me out of this reality. It sounds really simple, but when you are unwell, when you are not well with yourself. Another reality seems really appealing, but I realized I had a choice, and I chose that my reality that I have now is a beautiful reality, and I wanted to exist within this reality. I also learned about abstinence and how in abstaining, I really was able to regain my own identity again. I learned who I was outside of validation from relationships, either casual or committed. And my mind became clear. My body started healing from years of self betrayal, because when you are seeking validation from other people, self betrayal is only steps behind. And so there were a lot of instances where I chose to put myself in situations for validation to feel better about myself, or chose to be with people I had no business being with because I just wanted to feel loved. And if you're in that place or have experienced those kind of scenarios, understand that what God says about you, you don't need any of that. And your creator has the most beautiful things to say about you. And if you understand what he says about you, that's all the validation you need. And you don't need you don't need that reassurance over and over and over and over that you seek in other people, because it's written in his word. But if you need that reassurance, he'll remind you. But his mind never changes about you, ever, no matter what you do. And so in abstinence, I was able to regain or understand and figure out what my standards were, what I valued, what my needs were. And I stopped outsourcing my worth. I grew appreciation for people and not what they could offer me because I was looking for validation, but I saw them as a full being. And I also saw myself as a full being, as a whole person. I got to honor God with my body, with my mind, my soul, my spirit. Everything became more integrated. And it just things I haven't experienced in a lifetime. And so what we need to understand is isolation shrinks you inward, and solitude strengthens you. One is going to disconnect you from yourself, and the other one is going to bring you home. And when you learn how to be alone without abandoning yourself, you stop settling for connections that are going to cost you your peace. So I just wanted to share that with you today. I hope it was an encouragement. So if you are in a singleness season, a season of solitude, maybe God is asking you to walk away from places, people, places, things that you thought you would always be around. Maybe he has you in a place where it's just you and him right now. I can speak from experience that there is so much beauty and wisdom and insight on the other side of surrendering to this season of solitude, that it's invaluable. And so I just wanted to be or just be an encouragement to you today. I hope that you take this and you reflect on it, and to just be reminded that on this channel, we are learning to lead ourselves well so we can serve others better. And we will talk soon. Bye bye.